Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Harrison and we're at South by Southwest 2025 and we're about to talk to the cast and crew of The Ballad of Wallis Island. Let's take a look. If you could just tell me a little bit about your involvement in this film, how you, your first reaction whenever you read the script, a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a long time ago. I've been involved, or I've known the guys, Tom and Tim, for 20 years. We used to do sort of comedy together, make a sketch show and those kind of things. We did a short film together, and then we've always stayed in touch. And we revisited the idea of the short and made it into a feature-length film. I've been directing with them or collaborating with them for a long time. So this film is a kind of another chapter. Yeah, another chapter. I would say we've still got lots to do, but together, hopefully.
It's just the beginning.
But it's just the beginning of this bit of it. Yeah.
Gotcha. And my next question is, what was the most challenging part of working on this film?
The most challenging part of the film was probably the locations, because we were in Wales, and the weather in Wales is like 4 seasons in a day.
Really?
So we would get, rain, clouds, overcast. I mean, a cameraman's nightmare. Luckily, he's Icelandic, so he knows how to deal with the darkness. In fact, he loves the darkness. But that's the most challenging. Very remote locations where we had to truck a lot of equipment down to the beaches, and there was a lot of, it was remote, so very difficult. Yeah. Everything else was brilliant. The actors, the crew, everyone was fantastic. But the challenging thing was just pure logistics. Really boring.
And my last question is, what do you hope audiences take away from this film?
Well, you know what? I hope they take away a feeling of like how you'd feel if you listened to your favourite song. It's like, I want it to feel like an emotive feeling coming out of the film. Funny, laughing, maybe some tears. Not everyone cries at their favourite song, but you know what I mean. Something that evokes some feelings of warmth. Yeah.
From UT Austin, it's so nice to meet you. If you could just tell me a little bit about the writing from this film. I know you have a background in sketch comedy. How did that influence the writing for this movie?
Well, we came up with the original idea a very long time ago, about I think 17 years ago, when we made the short film. And at that point, we were writing a lot of sketches and coming up with a lot of quite high concept comic ideas, I suppose, and this was one of them, which lent itself initially to a short film, and then we kind of managed to find a way to expand it, and when we came back to it years later, having, I guess, had a lot more experience writing longer form stuff, we kind of were able to approach it more as a feature and think about the kind of, the character backgrounds and the sort of emotions that it needed to justify that kind of extra length, really. Yeah.
Absolutely. And could you tell me a little bit about like the inspiration for your character specifically?
You mean in terms of like the kind of musicians that I've modelled him on? So I think, in terms of characterization, I think Herb Maguire's kind of based on the, I owe you money now. The kind of slightly guarded singer-songwriter, even a sort of the kind of Bob Dylan archetype of someone who doesn't really like meeting their fans very much, someone who's quite private, someone who's a bit tetchy with any kind of like interaction with the public. And musically, I sort of modelled him on kind of, I guess sort of, folk rock kind of artists like sort of Nick Drake maybe, or Gillian Welch or Ryan Adams or someone like that. Those are the kind of people that I sort of was thinking about when I was writing the character. Yeah.
My last question is, what do you hope audiences take away from this film in particular?
I hope audiences find it really funny, and I hope audiences like the characters and kind of root for the characters. And I think my hope is that they kind of they really engage with the sort of the story that the characters go on, and the kind of the emotional sort of redemption that they all kind of achieve. I feel like that's my main hope for this film, is that people are kind of moved by it in the end. That they find something funny, but ultimately they kind of, find the story uplifting and emotionally resonant.
Yes, we have. But I'm happy to have you both back.
Harrison with me.
We can do a double interview.
Yeah.
Okay. My questions for you is, what intrigued you about this film in particular?
What intrigued me about the film? Do you know, I just read the script and thought it was so lovely. And there's not that many amazing scripts. And so I just thought that it was really brilliant writing and felt like real people, but was also really sort of witty and charming and sweet and like a lovely thing to put into the world.
Gotcha. My next question was, how does this character that you play stand out from your other characters that you played? And how did you connect with it differently than your other characters?
I like being English.
It's more natural.
Yeah, you do realise when you play in your own accent how much more facility you have with your own.
I guess it's another thing you're not thinking about.
Yeah. I think you can spend a lot of time learning accents and and I've done lots of American characters, and I feel like I get usually to a decent place, but then there's always like a couple of % of you that's like, I'm not American. Yeah. And I didn't have to think about that on this, so that was so nice.
And my last question was, what did you take away from working on this film in particular?
Such good friends.
Yeah. You took away some stuff from the house.
Some merchandise.
Some physical things.
No, it was like as lovely to make as I think it is to watch, and genuinely just really want to do more things with these wonderful people. And it was just a complete joy.
You said that now.
Verbal
so
contract.
That is effectively a contract.
Yeah, that is.
Thank you for watching, and if you want to see more South by Southwest content, you can check the videos over here. Thank you.